If you ever logged into Pinterest and opened up your analytics and thought, what the heck is going on? What happened to my traffic? You are not alone. Today, we're talking about why your Pinterest numbers might be tanking, and more importantly, what you can do about it. Because spoiler alert, it's not always your fault. And yes, there is a path to getting the traffic climbing again. So let's get into it. Let's start with the elephant in the room. Your traffic dropped suddenly, sharply, and now you're like, oh my gosh, did Pinterest shadow ban me? Is shadow ban even a thing? Did I post something wrong? Is my content just not working anymore for this platform? Can I not bring in leads on this platform? Take a deep breath. I want you to know and realize that Pinterest fluctuations are normal. Every seasoned creator sees spikes and dips. The key is to not panic, it's to focus and diagnose. So I like to talk about Pinterest as a computer and a user. And we don't often see the computer make updates as often as people see them on social media. But one of the reasons some students and clients and people on Pinterest have seen dips in their traffic and leads has been because the computer is doing update. So yes, Pinterest has them too. The nice thing about it, like I said, is it's not as often, but because it is a visual search engine, and like any other search platform, it has to focus on updating its algorithm, or the computer, as I call it, to prioritize better user experiences. That means sometimes your pins that were performing really well might get deprioritized. That's the word that I use when people use words like shadow ban and things like that. I don't believe that shadow ban is a thing on Pinterest, but getting deprioritized is a thing, making it a little bit more difficult to get that pin back up higher in search results. It doesn't completely go away. It doesn't mean new content won't be able to do that. It's just a different way that the computer works. Pinterest has started to give more weight to fresh content too. And so with that shift, it starts to shift what it wants pushed out into the world. Just like when we saw idea pins drop off and we had this battle between idea pins and standard pins. What you can do about it though is focus on being consistent and start creating that new visually appealing and updated versions of your best performing content or your legacy pins. And so a lot of people know about legacy pins. Stop trying to recycle that old, tired legacy pin on the same 14 boards. It's going to be hurting you more than it's helping you because the computer has decided that they want to give more weight to your new, fresh content. And now when I say content, that doesn't mean your blog post from 2 years ago. That means the visual search pin that you are creating needs to be updated. You can target different keywords, use different images, different titles. If you have subheaders or subtitles in your blog post, use each one of those as a title on your pin. That's hyper relevant to the blog post and the landing page that you're sending them to. So the computer won't see a disconnect, but you can batch out new, fresh content. Another reason that people are seeing a dip or a spike is the seasonality, not just for pumpkin spice lattes or the spring into a new outfit, whatever it is right now. Pinterest is driven by seasonal and trend-based searches. We know this by going to trends.pinterest.com. I also like to use Google Trends, and I am a fan of Ubersuggest so that I can kind of keep track of everything that's going on. So if you're suddenly seeing a drop, ask yourself, is the content that you've been sharing relevant for right now? Or did you have content that you posted that was riding a seasonal wave and now has passed. So you need to focus on that new content, the new pins that you're going to put out for the next seasonal trend. If you are asking yourself these questions, then I'm going to challenge you also to say that more than likely you weren't planning out ahead. What I like to do and what I teach in Result is lean into your seasonal keyword planning. Now, I have a planner that I use to help keep track of everything that's happening in my world that I'm scheduling, all of the goodness that's going to come about. And so I actually go through this with all my students and all of my clients that I do for management. And we talk about different topics that should be your pillar topics. So for myself, I have organic, I have ads, I have graphic design, right? And I list out, I typically have about 5 different pillar topics. And then I can go to my keyword planner with these pillar topics and I can start planning out what I want. Once I have that done, and I say these are, I'll even show you an example, what it looks like when it's all planned out. These are my keywords and I have lists of them so that I know what keywords I want to use. Now, what's really cool in my planner is I can actually track when they are going to be trending. So I could say, this is trending in August. This one's going to be trending in September. Maybe this one trends in July. And it would be the keyword or the question that I'm looking at, right? And when I do that, then I can come back and I can sort this table and group by what the actual promotion timeline is or filter by that. Right? And so I could say, I want it to only show me the August promotions. And then I can plan when these pins go out and be ahead of the game for my content planning. I tell people that they have to be planned at least 45 days ahead. That is the typical minimum that I would love to see for anybody. But for my clients and my students, we actually plan 3 to 6 months ahead. So you don't have to be worried about the fact that your pumpkin spice latte is no longer a trend right now. And now what do you do because your traffic is dropping? Right? Use Pinterest trends or even just look at your analytics to see what people typically start engaging with. You could also use good old ChatGPT, right? And so something you could do is actually go into chat, and I created the Pintastic Pin Helper, and you can say, help me find keywords for my niche. Help me find the trends. And so when we do this, it will ask you a series of questions that will then help you identify what you want to focus on. Now, this starts getting you going. Always double check everything on the Pinterest platform and on trends.pinterest.com. But when you answer these questions, then it's going to be able to start to give you, oh, okay, in the upcoming June months, these are the high intent Pinterest keywords based on your niche and your goals and what you want to focus on. If you're looking for any of these type of resources, they are in my results membership for anyone who joins me in there. However, I do have them all here for you, readily available on Simply Creative Digital, so you can grab them for yourself, including the template that I just shared and the Pinbot helper that I shared as well. Now, reason 3, technical issues. And no, you're not cursed with tech. Sometimes the problem can be simple on Pinterest. Your claimed website may have gotten disconnected. There could be a glitch on the platform. Rich pins aren't set up properly, or maybe something on your website. One of the things that you can do is you can actually go to a Pinterest page that will tell you if there are any issues on their platform or anything like that that you are unaware of. And so that is something that could be super helpful to be able to keep up with what's actually happening on the platform. And so one of the things that you can do is you can go and look at Pinterest status.com, and it will actually tell you if there are any technical errors or issues. And if you see drops in the past, you can also look at if there was anything reported. So sometimes we've seen things happen, and during these reports, it helps us better analyze if it's something that is us or something that is a tech issue. They're pretty quick to resolve it, but this is also helpful just to note and check to make sure that it is not you. What you can also do is you can double check, run a health check on your rich pins, check your claimed domain. I also highly suggest looking at your site load speed. If Pinterest can't properly crawl your website, then you're going to see issues in terms of what's shared on the platform because it won't necessarily give it the visibility it needs. That's when you're going to run up against the deprioritization. So the other thing is if you're using third-party schedulers, make sure that they're working correctly with Pinterest API. This doesn't mean that your traffic is going to tank, that if you switch a scheduler, your traffic is going to drop. Pinterest opened up its API. So if you are concerned about your scheduler being approved for Pinterest, all you have to do is send them a quick email and say, hey, are you using Pinterest approved API? If they are, which more than likely if they allow you to schedule, they are, then you're good to go. And you can know that that's not the issue that you're running into when it comes to tech issues. The fourth thing is your over-reliance on those viral pins. This is really going to be a tough love moment. I know that back in the days, we used to have legacy pins, and I kind of touched on this earlier. But if one or two of your pins, or maybe a group of pins, are doing the heavy lifting, or maybe you had a group board that was doing the heavy lifting and then suddenly it just stopped performing, you're going to feel it and it's going to hit hard. Pinterest is trying to get back to the old days of where it was super user friendly. You post a pin, it directs traffic. They're making things very simplified and streamlined. And that's also my thoughts on why idea pins were removed, because there was a lot of pushback. You didn't get traffic from it. But with that being said, getting back to that doesn't mean one-hit wonders. Pinterest still wants your consistency on the platform. There are thousands upon thousands of searches every single day, and they want to make sure that the content is relevant today versus 10 years ago. And so you need to make sure that you are focusing on content diversity and long-term strategy. One viral pin is not going to build your business. An evergreen pinning strategy does. And with my clients shifting from chasing that virality to actually focusing on building consistent evergreen traffic, that's when we've seen changes for the clients that come to us. We've started seeing anywhere from 50% increases in their monthly traffic without them having to sit and focus on their phones or their computer to make Pinterest work for them. The last thing that really hits home for a lot of people, and I say this with all love and respect, is one of the real issues that you're struggling with right now is perfectionism and control. A lot of business owners that I talk to feel completely at the mercy of Pinterest. But the truth is you can control your strategy even when the traffic drops. You don't need to guess. You don't need to rely on those old pins. You need to focus on what the data is telling you, what strategy shifts you can make, and alignment with your brand. That's what I help my clients do every single day. We stop throwing spaghetti at the wall and we start focusing on creating a Pinterest presence that feeds their business on autopilot, even while they're sleeping or traveling or binging Netflix. If you are doing all the things and you're still not getting somewhere, or you're second guessing yourself, or you're tired of panicking every time traffic drops, or maybe you feel like it's going to be overwhelming because you don't know the steps to create that strong strategy. If you're ready for a Pinterest strategy that feels clear and sustainable and aligned with your business goals in less time than it takes to go create a new reel, then let me talk to you about the fantastic Jumpstart cohort. Interest categories, board names, descriptions, keywords, profile name to really help you establish the authority and trust. Using color SEO, focusing on how to be able to develop a content calendar tailored to your audience and what they want, and knowing exactly what to pin and when for maximum results in less time. So this is going to be for you if you're tired feeling stuck with Pinterest results that you haven't been able to get off the ground. You want to scale your business without feeding that social media feed and dealing with all the updates that you have to do. If you've been on Pinterest for years, but you haven't updated your strategy to match the new Pinterest computer, or if you're just ready to invest in a solution that's going to actually deliver leads and sales while saving you time. So if this is something that you're open to learning more about, we will be starting. So go ahead and shout out cohort for me if you want more information on this, and I will send you some more information. If you're looking to get back to the traffic and results that you had before this traffic drop, and none of the things that you are listing right now or that I listed right now seem to be what your problem is, then send me a message. Let's talk about it. Let's see where the disconnect could be so that we can try to get you back to the point of bringing in all those traffic, leads, and sales. Until next time, keep pinning, and I'll see you later.